Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Royal Stone. Last episode, Eva and her forces started their way toward the Kingdom of Sor, which is an ally of the Kingdom of Mortalia. They also have a Royal Stone. The Empire wants to gather all the Royal Stones and destroy them because that'll bring the world to a basic chaos to the world. Basically only the strong will survive, and I guess the Empire thinks that they'll survive in that condition. We can't let them do that, so that's why we're on our way to Sor to get that Royal Stone before the Empire does. Now, speaking of strength, how the Empire thinks they want to be in a world where only the strong survive, we are upgrading our army here by buying a bunch of stuff from this mystery shop. We don't know what the items are, because they're all just question marks. But I know what they are because I've played before. The first 9,000 is long sword. The second 9,000 is leather armor, so you don't want to buy them. We did want to buy 6 of the bastard swords, which was the 350 item, 7 of the 510 items, which was steel armor, 2 of the 10 items, which are Bibles, and we wanted to buy 1 of the sneakers, the 5,550 item. The sneakers, they add 1 to your movement. So if we didn't buy all these weapons and armor, we could have potentially got 3 of them, and then give them to our fighters, or give them to our ranger and our knight, and then give the other one to our new knight that we're going to get in the next town. But then that would forego, like I said, buying all this better gear. So I decided I'd rather upgrade everyone's equipment. So everyone will be getting a bastard sword, except for Eva, because she already has the claymore, which is a little bit better. Everyone is then going to be getting, well, all our fighters will all be getting steel armor then, including Eva. We're going to have 1 steel armor and 1 bastard sword in reserve for the knight we're going to get in the next town. I was mentioning about the sneakers. If you bought 3 of them, you could potentially, like I said, give them to your fighters, your knights, and that would move all their movement up to 6, so they'd be on par with all our magic users and Eva. The main benefit of that extra movement is for when we go into bad terrain, unfavorable terrain. For instance, like desert is bad for water. We already know that forests are bad for fire and water. Now we're going to go into a battle where there's going to be a lot of water, so it's going to impede the movement of our fighter and our wind fighter. What the things to do would basically, the fighter's movements are 5. And so when you go through unfavorable terrain, it divides it by 2 rounds down. So in unfavorable terrain, people only get 2 movement. But if we give it the sneakers, like I said, to our fighters or the knights, their movement will go to 6. Divided by 2 is 3. So they basically get an extra point of movement in unfavorable terrain. But for the most part, terrain isn't that big of a deal. It's going to be somewhat of a deal in this next battle because there's a lot of unfavorable terrain. But with the right tactics, we'll be okay. So we're just going to use our regular army here. We're also going to add Perlis in. We could bring those other people in, but we don't need them. Right, time to go to work. Let's make this quick. Sadly, this battle will not be quick. It'll take 2 episodes. Come on, please. I'm tired of committing crimes to the Empire. Azure is the elder from the first town that we were in. Go check out episode 1. Are you forgetting about the hostage? And the hostage is his granddaughter, Papure. Understand your zeal, puppet. Nothing more. Now shut up and get back in line. Well, we don't want him in line because he's a wizard. My granddaughter, please don't hurt her. We want him to rush out to the front and we can take him out before the rest of the army crosses the river. I'll think about it. Better keep me in a good mood, huh? I get it. Just don't hurt her. There's nothing we can do to save him. It's not like we can have Eva like talk with him and he'll join our army. It's not like we can defeat every other character, leave him for last, then he'll be like, oh, thanks, you freed me. So unfortunately we were forced to fight him and defeat him, and that's not going to go over well with his granddaughter when we finally meet her. But like I said, this is going to be a really long battle, mainly because of all the unfavorable terrain. It's going to cut down everyone's movement to 2. All our fighters, Eva and the clerics will move down to 3. The only one who won't affect it is Vasily the pirate. So, but that of course will also affect the enemy's movements too. The only ones you really have to worry about are those two monsters that are with the enemies. Two sirens, they're water elemental, so they are not going to be affected by the water. The other enemies, they have 4 wind fighters, so it would be think it'd be a good map for our fire character, but their movement is going to be so impeded that it's not really going to help. They have a healer, the boss is wind, and they have two water characters here. So there's the sirens if you want to recruit one. You want obviously go for the one that's level 7. You have to feed less experience into her, but like I say, we'll get them, we'll recruit them from the inn later on. So the good thing is that wizard there, the wizard Azure, he has 3 movement even with the water because he's a wizard. So he's going to get to our forces much earlier than everybody else, which is good because, like I said, we can take him out. He has cold, which is effective against fire, and the lightning, which is effective against water. So if we wanted anybody to fight him, we'd want a wind character to engage him. But like I said, this is kind of a slow-paced battle, which is why it's going to take 2 episodes to finish. And it doesn't really matter who we take out the Azure with, because we're going to be pretty much hunkered down on this middle island here. And that's where we're basically going to be making our stand against the enemies. We don't want to go too far out though, because that will expose our water character there to the 2 sirens. We'll try to draw some of the sirens in so we can take them out early. See, they have a lot of movement. They're going to let them right in. But that's okay because, like I said, they're going to be by themselves. That allows us to, you know, finish them off, take them out. Then by the time we finish them off, then Azure the wizard will be there. Then we'll take him out, and then their water characters will start approaching. We finish them off, and then we're basically just left with the whole bunch of wind characters over there on the far eastern piece of land. And we take out the boss, who doesn't aggro until we get close to him. It's good that the enemy is somewhat split up like this, because being so split up means that we can gang up on their the enemies and basically defeat them before the healer can heal them. Because if we basically, if the healer was, you know, aggressive and moved over toward us, she would be healing basically every round, but she's gonna stick back. So yeah, the enemy's just crippling themselves by moving out of their healer's range and moving in such a way that they can't concentrate their forces. So it's pretty much basically just the tactics basically is, think about it, just basically we're like turtling. We walk forward, we form a defensive line, let the enemy come to us, defeat the enemy as they come to us piecemeal, and then once that each line is taken down, then we just push forward a little bit. I figured they'd have more, like I said, they'd want more water elemental enemies, you know, soldiers in this group. They'd have the advantage. So here's our advantage. We can fight these characters and not worry about damage we take, because now we have 3 healers, 2 healers and Eva. So we have 3 casters of heal. And because we're taking enemies on so few at a time, we can, whatchamacallit, we can afford to take a few damage because somebody's also going to be around to heal up. Yeah. Just have Pauline heal here. And these two, and even Eve, I think, they should all be in range to draw aggro from Azure, the wizard. He should get onto the island, and then we'll take him out once he gets to the island. There he is, he's on the island. Goes after Eva. Dunk. That's a decent chunk of damage. He's, I guess, has good stats. And we unfortunately get into an unfavorable battle here. And that's why I guess the fighters are good. They can guard, so even if you do get caught in an unfavorable battle, they can block for 0 damage. Let's do a little bit of damage here. There we go. We'll be able to get a wind character up there to deal some damage. Here we have the level 7 Siren. And a boost just to take it down. But of course we don't want to defeat the Siren with Eva, because Eva would then have a chance to potentially recruit this Siren. And we have more than enough characters. We don't need other characters to fill our army and take potentially experience away. Everybody will get a chance to thrive in this army. Like I said, I'm trying to get, once when I get my fighters up, then I'll bring in like the Rangers and the Knights. Let's see how our characters are going here. So we have an elemental advantage if we get the wind character up there to fight that water. And even though Taurus here is going to be at an elemental disadvantage against the wizard because he has the cold spell, he's strong enough that, well, just barely strong enough that he'll be able to survive these 2 hits. I get really, really lucky. That first one did 70, but this one he rolls high on. Takes me down to 1 HP. So normally I'd be scared, but like I said, I have 3 healers, and he'll be healed up. And the wizard is Azure's weakened enough that next person to fight him will take him out. You take out the water character here. And both of the Sirens are pretty weakened, so they won't be much of an issue to finish off. Here we go, finish off Azure here, with Bachelor. Decent experience for him. Please save Papure, my granddaughter. Well, like, we will, although she's not going to be happy when she finds out that we were unfortunately forced to fight him. Let's move our characters around here. Eva can heal because she's not fighting. Heal Horus up here. Or Taurus. A little bit. He's still potentially can be targeted by the Sirens, so we're going to use our 2 healers to block him off. Put him in where he can't be attacked by either of our by those 2 Sirens. Because even though, yeah, we heal him a little bit, if he got attacked by both those Sirens, they would probably defeat him. So, even if you use the block command, because you can only block 1 of their attacks, and 2, especially from the level 7 Siren, would really, really hurt him. So. Alright, as you can see, the enemies are pretty much dwindled. We only have that 1 water character and 1 Siren to deal with. And like I said, because the enemy is also going to be experiencing terrain disadvantage, we don't have to worry about them attacking us. We'll be able to take these guys out. And nice critical hit there. Good, we need to get Eva some levels. Goal is also to get all my fighters up to level 11 as well. Try to get some levels on either Pauline or Polus. other healer. So as soon as we get the fighters, we can start bringing in the knights and the ranger. Now the enemy is moving forward, but they'll be contained by that river. And so, like I said, the plan is going pretty well. Pearl's attack here. Like I said, he's under-leveled. Of course, him and Pauline will be pretty much coming to all the fights from now on. So it's not necessarily important that they get a level every fight. As I said, they'll be around for so long. But at least if they're max level, we won't have to worry about them fighting anymore. They can just hang back in the back and let the fighters do their thing. So we're going to finish setting up our little defensive wall here. Heal ourselves up. And let the enemy come and we'll start taking them out from there. Yeah, Taurus setting up there good for the wind enemies that will be coming by. Then we got a few waters, so we'll put them, we'll have our water character down. Or we have fire characters, so our water characters there to intercept them. Let's heal up. So other than Eve, I think all my characters are in full right now. Eve will get full next turn. And we pass the turn over to the enemy, who will not be able to reach us, as you can see. So like I said, we have another turn to basically heal up. Yep, only one of them moved forward, so sadly we can't reach them either. So that's where the sneakers would have come in handy. Would really would have had Taurus would have been able to reach that that wind character, but you know the price, we'd have to forego all that other gear. So we'll just take time to scan, because like I said, we don't really need a lot of healing here now. I think only Eva needs to be healed. And like I said, we'll just basically point out that most of the characters remaining are wind, including the boss. It's wind. He's still just a generic wind character. We'll be coming up, eventually we'll be fighting like generals in the army. Just like in Crystal Warriors, where they had like a general of fire, general of wind, general of water. So we're going to get more of them coming up, but this guy's just a flunky of the wind general. I guess this is his right-hand man or something. With the healer again. Like I said, healer's not much of a problem because she's just sitting back there. Alright, now let's let the enemy engage us here. Going after our healer, which is the smart move, I guess. That's why you want to get levels on your healers, because other than Eva, healers are a nice squishy target. Move around a little bit. And then after this turn, we will end the episode. We're in good favorable position, and we'll finish up the battle in the next episode. Take care, have a good one. Bye.